What's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for round number 18 I believe now for the Mexican Grand Prix. So really getting to the latter stages of season 2 now, and like I said in the last episode, I do apologise if the uploads do slow up, but life is really starting to get in the way for me, and also I still feel kind of ill. I don't know what it is, but my nose and my throat is like constantly sort of blocked up. I haven't got a cold though, so I just don't know what it is, but it's not great for like commentating for a long period of time, so when I do a race I do struggle, so I have to take breaks, but also just other things in life get in the way. However, we're trying to power through it here and try and get as many videos up as possible. But if you guys did miss the last episode, which was absolutely incredible at COTA, then I do urge you to go check it out in the card in the top right hand corner of your screen, because we achieved something absolutely incredible that race, and it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't done so already. But we're here from Mexico, round number 18, and we've gone to slightly more south of where we was in the last race in Austin, Texas, and here in Mexico, a track that you know, it's definitely not the best for me. It's not my favourite track. I'm not the quickest around here, but it's also not my worst. Bit of a mix for me, but overall Mexico is a track that I can get a lot of joy out of if I perform well. Season 1 we had a pretty okay race weekend, nothing spectacular, and I want to try and do a bit of a better result this time around and try and actually push my limits a little bit. So hopefully we can have a good race here and a good race weekend as a whole. But jumping into the Friday practice session, into the practice program, so you can see that we're running through them rather nicely, and we get a purple score ready to kick things off on the track acclimatization, and a very good start there to kick off the weekend as we now transition on to the tyre wear test, which was a real struggle around here. Really just couldn't get the car in the green. It was literally impossible for me to do a respectable lap time yet still keep it in the green. So I tried a couple of times, but in the end, on the second attempt I was down and I just backed out because it was literally impossible and I could not pull it off. So unfortunately we're not going to get the not even the green 30 score points for this one, because I just struggled so much. So we're going to move on to the fuel saving test now, and this one went a little bit better as we get a purple score, fairly easy one, and this was the major one. We move into the qualifying performance test, and for the first time I believe in this entire career mode we get a purple score, which was really encouraging for me going into qualifying, because I was like, okay, so we might have some pace around here, because you know, it's the first time we've ever got the purple I believe in this career mode. So that is a big result for us, and that is a big change of momentum, and hopefully we can try and carry that into qualifying as we wrap up things in practice, getting a pretty good score in the race strategy. By a pretty good score I mean 50 points and a maximum score in that. So overall, a very good practice session, very good amount of resource points, as you can see in the top right there, saved up as we now switch out our engine components back to the slightly less worn units here for qualifying. But overall, I'm looking forward to qualifying now, because I was a bit skeptical that AI were a little bit OP around here. However, after that qualifying performance test, I'm actually pretty encouraged by our performance. I'm going to just take a pinch of salt for now, because you never know how things will shape up in qualifying once the AI turn up their engines. But anyway, we're going to focus on a lap here in qualifying and see what we can do in qualifying and see if that practice pace does prove true. As we come across for our first lap, we're actually P3 behind our teammate Ocon, so straight away a bit of an eyebrow raise. However, we're going to go for a second attempt to see if we can improve on our first effort here. As you can see, DRS wide open here. We've got I think that's a Sauber on the left hand side who is trying to make a move. That's one pulling out of the slipstream here, and we're now going to go to turn 1, 100 meter board on the right hand side, brake just after it in between the 100 and the 50 pretty much. Fourth gear for turn 1, and then down a third for turn 2, and then a short shift through turn 3 to try and get the traction and the good corner speed through those. We open up with DRS, currently up on our delta slightly here. Very good start to the lap as we now go into turn number 4 here. Very tricky corner, 100 meter ball down the third gear, really push the apex and then flick it right for turn 5 here. Very good run through there. Really nice bit of traction, which is absolutely critical in this little slow section, as we now get a nice run through the double apex right hand of 6 and 7, and then a good bit of exit speed through as we now go through into the S section. This is absolutely critical that you get this perfect and nail every single apex here, and that's exactly what I do as I get a great run through every single one of them. And we're now pretty much 2.5 tenths up on a lap, now 3 tenths as we now go into the final sector, fourth gear through this sort of blind right hand apex here as we now go into the baseball stadium, left hand hairpin, third gear corner, missing the apex slightly there, but we get a good exit out of here as we now go into the final corner, third gear behind, I believe that's a Renault Palmer, and we get good traction on the exit of the corner, keeping it nice and tight to the right hand side and across the line. Where is the lap going to put us here after that qualifying lap? And it's going to be P6, so not bad, a pretty damn good lap there actually. and one that I was very encouraged by, and one that I did not expect coming, as we actually managed to beat one of the Red Bulls, and we almost beat Verstappen for best of the rest, and only a 10th behind a Red Bull here, and that would have put us, P5, which would have been absolutely incredible, and we out-qualify Esteban Ocon, who's down in P9 there. So a very, very encouraging qualifying performance, one that I did not see coming, and maybe that's thanks to the upgrades that we've done all season long on the car, and then are starting to pay off. But I'm definitely encouraged by this result, so hopefully we can convert it tomorrow in the race for a better finishing position. So without further ado, let's jump straight to Sunday for the race for the Mexican Grand Prix. Right, so it's race day here at Mexico, and I'm looking forward to this race. P6 on the grid, and best of the rest pretty much, with the exception of Verstappen on the left-hand side, who we narrowly missed out on pipping in qualifying, but a very impressive performance in the qualifying session, and the car working absolutely beautifully. And looking at the race strategy for today, going for the ultras and then switching over to a double super soft stint, and going for the two-stop strategy. The one stop pretty much impossible around here, so also overfueling the car by about 1.5 laps, so we're going to be pretty heavy on the fuel load and try and use the rich mix whenever necessary. But I'm hoping for a few of these guys up in front of a few issues now. Obviously, getting towards the end of the season, engine failures and gearbox failures can become quite frequent, so hopefully that can factor into our plans. Also, you never know, a good time safety car here or there like the last race is always welcome. But P6 on the grid, the target today is to simply beat Verstappen and try and get a top 5 finish. So the task is simple, so without further ado, let's jump straight into the race. Right then, here we go on the grid for Mexico, round number 18 of the season. 5 red lights, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go here. And it's a pretty okay start from us, a really, really good start from Verstappen. But here we go, all over the back of Kimi Raikkonen early on. We're going to sit in the slipstream for now, but look at the speed that those guys up in front have. We're sort of bogging down a little bit because we've got pretty high aero on here. But into turn 1, getting swamped by the Williams cars here. 3 wide, we're going to get sandwiched in the first corner. Can we go around the outside of Felipe Massa here? He's going to hold it around my outside. I'm going to squat on the traction, a little bit of wheel banging, but we've held on to our starting position here. So very good start to the race, and we're now going to see if we can try and keep up with these guys in front of us and see what our pace is like in this early stage of the Grand Prix. But right now, I feel confident. Verstappen's having a bit of a battle with Bottas. Meanwhile, Lewis leads the way ahead of Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen here in the wars with a Mercedes and a Ferrari. But Raikkonen, the world champion now of this season already, down in P5 here. Not the best start from him, but let's see what our pace is like here. Okay, Raikkonen's made the move on Verstappen, so we're going to see if we can maybe pass Verstappen ourselves here, see what our straight line speed is like as we get a pretty okay-ish exit out the final corner. Verstappen's going to get the toe on Raikkonen, but this is why I saved on my fuel, I've got a nice bit of rich mix to use here. So here we go, sitting right in the slipstream of Verstappen. We are gaining on the Dutchman here. Can we make the move on the brakes? Are we going to get close enough for a lunge into turn 1? Not quite. I got very close, but not close enough. But we're going to just sit behind him for now. Maybe have a run into the next brake zone. But Verstappen actually has a pretty good exit. I don't think I'm going to be close enough to make a dive. Let's see. We are gaining slightly. Can I go for it on the brakes? Not quite. So Verstappen holds on for now. Right, here comes Ricciardo. He's looking for my inside, but he hasn't quite commit to the move. So he's going to sit behind me for now. But we're in a Red Bull sandwich here. So let's see if we can keep pace with these guys. At the moment, I feel like I'm on the pace, but I'm slightly slower than both of the Red Bulls. But I think I can stay in the mix here with DRS. But I'm going to need to be perfect through every corner. Right, Ricciardo's got DRS on me now, but I've still got DRS on Verstappen here. So it's going to be a drag race into the first corner. Ricciardo, we're going for the move. I'm going to try and match him on the brakes around the outside of turn 1 here. Can we hold the inside through the next corner? Ricciardo's still there, to be fair to him. Still on my inside, a little bit more contact, but we're going to stay ahead for now and use the DRS to try and stay ahead into the next brake zone. But right now, we are slightly off the pace. We are pulling away from the rest of the midfield, but the Red Bulls just seem to have a little bit too much pace for me at the moment. Okay, on to lap number 5, and this time I've dropped out DRS from Verstappen after that little battle with Ricciardo. And Ricciardo, speaking of which, is going to make the move fairly comfortably and get past me there, so I'm not going to fight him too much, and I'm just going to try and follow him basically because I haven't really got the pace at the moment, and I'm not going to bother wasting rich mix trying to defend my position from him because that rich mix will come in handy later on in the Grand Prix when I'm on the super soft tyres. So for now, I'm just going to try and follow Ricciardo here and somewhat keep pace and also stay ahead of Felipe Massa behind. Okay, so now Ricciardo's got issues with his car anyway, so it looks like we are going to re-overtake the Honey Badger here. So let's just set ourselves up for a move. I did keep up with him anyway when he had a fully functional car this lap, and I'm going to be within DRS now of Ricciardo here. Luckily Massa is not really close enough for DRS here, but here we go, opening up the rear flap on Ricciardo. We're going to crank up the rich mix as well and try and make a nice pass here on the Australian and getting a nice big toe into turn 1. On the brakes, let's just take the inside line. Ricardo's got issues, so we've got to try and make light work of him. And there we go, nice and easy, making the move. I'm going to stay in rich mix now because I wasn't planning to use it. However, now we are in clean air because we've overtaken Ricardo as a consequence of his issues. So we're just going to try and push on now for a little while in rich mix here. Okay, on to lap 8, Bottas in the pit lane. We're going to come in at the end of this lap for super soft compound tyres in my first stop of the race. Meanwhile, Massa has overtaken Ricardo, but we're sort of keeping Verstappen in our sights. We've gone back down to standard now, use a little bit of rich mix, but my pace is pretty okay. I'm pretty stable, and like where I'm at the moment, I just got to like now basically time the pit stop changes. I went down a gear too many there for turn 1, but car's performing well. Tyres are starting to let go a little bit, so this will be the lap when we come in for super softs. Right, here we go through the final corner. We're going to come in for our first of 2 stops this race, and let's be nice and aggressive with the pit entry here. So I take down the bollard here, really pushing on the entry there, but very solid pit entry, and most of them are staying up for longer on them ultra soft tyres. We must have more tyre wear than most of the AI around us here, but there we go, 2.6, missing my clutch release there, but on to the fresh super soft tyres now. Let's try and put these to good use and try and test some decent lap times, and see if we can undercut maybe Verstappen, because he'll probably come in with this lap anyway, but I want to see if we've got the pace to really push. Meanwhile, we're going to rejoin in last place behind both of the McLarens and a Sauer, so let's get up to speed and crack on here. Okay, the grip on these fresh tyres is absolutely ridiculous, and I've got a huge run on Stoffel Van Dorn. We're just going to pull to the inside and make a nice easy move, and there we go, up into 19th place. We've got cars in the pit lane, so let's see who we're going to overtake, as I'm hoping Alonso and Verline also pit to get out my way. Just give me some DRS and then let me basically go in the process, and it looks like they are going to stay out the pair of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to crank up into rich mix. We've got a few cars in the pit lane here, but we're going to use all the straight line speed that we have in this car to power past Fernando Alonso here, pull to the inside, and there we go, nice move on him. And then shortly after, we're going to try and get past Pascal Wehrlein, who's the next guy to overtake here. So into turn 1, let's try and get really close to the Sauber here, really being aggressive over these curbs. Nice one out of there, good exit speed, and now open up the DRS on Pascal. And I don't think I'm going to need rich mix here to make the move on the Sauber driver. So we pull to the inside, and it's going to be a fairly comprehensible move. And there we go, nicely done. And now we can try and go after Marcus Ericsson, who's just up the road. Oh, we've got a few more cars in the pit lane, and I'm actually not within DRS of Ericsson. I just must have missed out, even though I'm 9 tenths behind him now. So we're going to have to pass him maybe just after the turn 1, 2, 3 section. But Ericsson, we'll probably get past him fairly shortly, and we'll be into P8, so it shouldn't be too long before we make that pass. But I'm really curious as to what the top 6 are doing, because strategies are really different at the moment, as I can't call it an absolute treat. But I think I might be on a 2-stop compared to most of the top guys who might be on the 1. Well, it's going to be a fairly simple move on Marcus Ericsson, I think, as we've got too much grip on these tyres to not make the move. And here we go, around the outside, which will then become the inside for the next corner. And there we go, nice move, and we're up in P8. So now let's try and push on with this clean air and use rich mix starting from the next lap. Okay, here's Max Verstappen, who's just left the pit lane. He's rejoined on a fresh set of ultra soft compound tyres here. So very interesting strategy there, but the Red Bull obviously not having that much tyre wear, which is rather interesting, but he will also be on the 2-stop strategy. The one that I was originally recommended was a ultra super, but I've got too much tyre wear to do that strategy, so hence why I switched out the middle stint to a super soft compound tyre. But there you go, Verstappen still holding his position. Right, Bottas in the pit lane off of the super soft compound tyres, so I think he's got the same issue as me. He can't really make his tyres last, because I'm looking at my tyres and I'm a little bit concerned that they're going really quickly around here, and I don't know if I'll be able to fit another super soft on, to be honest. And that was a fairly easy strategy according to the tyre recommendation at the start of the race on the screen, but I'm really concerned about my tyre life around here. I seem to be chewing through my tyres compared to the AI, and Massa's actually starting to catch me now. Grosjean pits, and he's off of those old super soft compound tyres, and I'm just outside of DRS from Kevin Magnussen, so I should be catching him this lap and hopefully overtaking him. Massa's catching me at a pretty quick rate, and I feel like he's in rich mix because he gains a half a second in the first sector where all the straights are. Okay, so I'm going to guess Magnussen's probably going to hit this lap, so let's try and avoid him. He's costing me a little bit of time by going so slowly through the final corner, but we are going to pick up his DRS, so that's a good thing. So we're just going to crack on here and continue on. We're in P5, so the position right now is pretty damn good, and Bottas obviously through the order, so really we're probably in P6. But if Bottas is on a 3-stop strategy, and that sort of blows it a bit open in terms of the options this race, but we are getting caught up by the guys behind, so we've got to be careful. I think it's Massa, I'm going to guess it's maybe Ricardo might be recovering from his issues, who's catching me up. So we've got work to do here, and it's actually Bottas who's already caught up to the back of Massa, so that's how quick Bottas is right now. But let's just try and continue on here. My tyres are starting to run out of life. Really struggling on the rear tyres now, literally losing the back end out of every corner. I've got to be so careful with the traction and the curbs as well. Don't want to spin the back end off, but Bottas has passed Massa and he's now on the back of me, so we're going to be defending from a very rapid silver arrow very soon here, as my pace is really dropping off and I'm really struggling here. I genuinely don't think I'm going to make it to another super soft task Stint. I've got to do 2 more laps on these before I can even think about doing a pit stop for supers. So I'm going to have to suffer for a little bit now, and I think Bottas is going to be making light work of me down this pit straight. I think Massa might even have a crack if he's got enough straight line speed. But here goes Bottas. I'm going to let him pass fairly early, so hopefully I can use these Simpsons to try and stay ahead of Massa, which is what I'm going to try and do. So try and follow Valtteri to try and gain a couple of Ks on the straight, because there is Massa who's not too far away, so he's going to try and follow him. But look at the understeer I've got. Oh my god, I've got understeer mixed in with oversteer at the moment, and the tyres are not working for me now. And I wouldn't say they're hitting the cliff, but it definitely feels like it in terms of, even though the wear percentage is pretty low, they definitely feel like they are. So here comes Massa up my inside. I'm going to skim a little squeeze just to let him know that I'm not going to give him much room. And there we go, just going to squeeze in front of him there and stay ahead of the Brazilian. I think I can defend from Massa if I use my rich mixture wisely, because I do have a little bit saved up. But it's going to be a real battle here to finish this race ahead of Massa, who I believe has also one more stop to do. Okay, here comes Felipe then. He's going to try and make the move. I'm going to pull to the inside and not let him have any bit of slipstream whatsoever. I'm going to race him in rich mix here. He's going to have DRS and wide open obviously, but I'm going to try and follow him basically. So let's see what we can do here. He's going to make the move before turn 1. But he's just locked up slightly there, which is going to give me the chance to just go back around the outside of him there. Cheeky little move, just trying to regain my position. There we go, we've managed to stay ahead thanks to a little mistake from Massa. Obviously going a little bit too hot into the first corner there, and that's allowed me to basically stay ahead of him for now. But these tyres are going rapidly. Okay then, so we're going to come in for our final stop of the race on another super soft tyres, and I'm really struggling on these. I need this pit stop desperately. So let's get it all slowed down. There we go, good pit entry. Massa stays out. And we're going to rejoin, hopefully in a little bit of clean air behind that little train of cars you can see on the minimap. If we can just rejoin in some clean air and just push for a couple of laps, that'd be critical for us and really good for us. So here we go, we're in P9, Ricardo's in the pit lane behind us on them ultra soft compound tyres. But we're going to rejoin behind these 3 cars. So it's going to be like last time, we're going to be basically catching these by the end of the lap. So hopefully we've got the pace. There's signs in the Toro Rosso, so we've got a little bit of rich mix saved up, so we'll use that if necessary, but for now I think we can probably make the undercut work just by using standard if we're good enough through the rest of the corners. Okay, we've got a yellow flag up ahead, so something's happened. We're just going to follow signs through because I want his DRS, but someone has retired from the race. The question is, who is it? We've got Grosjean on the left hand side, and he was ahead of me on net position because he was going for that 1 stop and he was on the soft compound tyres, so that's going to help me in terms of my final finishing position here. But we're going to get DRS off of Carlos Sainz, and we're going to open up DRS now, and there is Felipe Massa. So now I'm going to use rich mix, use most of what I have left, and use these fresh tyres to try and get a second ahead of Massa and try and stay there. Okay, here we go, Kvyat pulls into the pit lane, also the car in front of him, I believe it was a Renault of Palmer, and that's going to release me onto Kevin Magnussen. He will have DRS, which is slightly annoying, but that's going to give me some great straight line speed here, and I've got the confidence on these tyres to go for a lunge if I have to, but I'm actually barely gaining on Kevin here into turn 1, so he's going to sit behind him for now. He will have DRS also into the next brake zone, so let's try basically follow Kevin Magnussen through here. But a bit of a shaky one there, but we are pulling away from Massa here, so I will try and surprise Magnussen probably into the next 2 corners. If we just get good enough onto the brakes through here, which I have done, a little bit of dirty, you can really notice the dirty air now. But here we go, very close to Kevin. I'm just going to go for it here. I think I can get the lunge done on the brakes. There we go, a little bit of my driver dive, but there we go, lovely jubbly. Made the critical move, and now I can try and use these tyres and pull away in the clean air. Right, Massa's just outside of a second. He's got some good pace on them tyres, and they are a lap fresher than mine, and I do seem to have some pretty bad tyre wear, but for now he's behind us. My engine is starting to wear components slowly going onto the yellow, including my gearbox, which is going to be a concern. So hopefully we have no issues in that department, but Massa is piling on the pressure here, and my P6 could be under threat, especially if I make little errors like that where I'm just really pushing the limits of the car too much. Okay, this could be the lap. Here comes Felipe. I'm standing in standard mix because I haven't got a lot of rich mix left. and I'm only using that when I really have to. So we're going to have to try and defend from Massa in standard here, and right now I've only got like 0.05 I believe of fuel, and there we go, yeah, 0.05, so I can only use that when absolutely necessary. My engine now is pretty much all yellow except for one thing, so we're really up against it here in this closing stages. I missed my apex through there. Massa really piling on the pressure, and I think Ricciardo is the next car behind, and he's dragging someone else along with him, so we could be forming a little train, and we've still got loads of laps left in this race, and my tyres are already starting to scream. But Massa is a lot closer this time round, so this might be a lap where I'm going to have to dip into the rich mix reserves to try and keep up with him here. He's made the move. I'm trying to follow his slipstream. Can I get him back on the brakes? Not quite. Is he going to lock up again? Yes, he has. He's made the same mistake as he did last time. And I'm just going to try and pull off the same move I did last time, but this time Massa holds it around the outside, and I think that might be the move done. I'm into the negatives. I've got to save fuel here, so Massa makes the move into P6, and now do I have enough tyres to keep up with him and maybe repass him with DRS next lap. Massa is slowly edging away. I'm just about keeping within DRS, but it's going to be a challenge, and now Ricciardo is coming very quickly, and it's going to be another challenge to keep him behind, but it should be easier because that is not a Williams in a straight line, that's a Red Bull, so it should be easier to keep him behind, I think. Okay, here comes Ricciardo. He's within DRS now. I've lost DRS from Massa, so we've got 3 more laps to go this race, or 4 full racing laps. I'm going to stay in standard for now. Here comes Ricciardo. I'm going to let him basically not use my slipstream. He's going to look for the move around the outside into turn 1 here. I'm going to run it in nice and deep on purpose to not let him hang it around the outside. And there we go. We've held on for the first attempt here from Daniel Ricciardo. The first, I'm guessing, of many. But I feel more confident keeping him behind, like I said, than Massa, because his straight line speed just isn't as good as a Williams car. Here comes Ricciardo again to the outside into turn 1, but he doesn't quite commit to the move like last lap. And I'm going to stay ahead of him for now. So we sort of got Ricciardo's number, which is what I said I think we'd have. We've just got to make no mistakes and be perfect. Ricciardo's had a brilliant exit out of there, to be fair to him. So we're going to have to defend a little bit here into this next corner as Ricciardo goes for the outside line. Is he going to make it stick? I'm going to hold the inside, just defend the inside line to the next corner. And there we go. We're staying ahead of Ricciardo, but he's really pushing me to the limit on these tyres, which are near 60% wear. And we've still got 2 more laps to go once we cross the line. Here comes Ricciardo again. I'm staying in standard mix once again here because I don't think he's got the legs on me. I'm going to go up the inside again and defend my position, but my tyres, I can feel if I brake 0.1% more, I'm just going to lock up and go straight on. Ricciardo again, good exit out of there. He's going to look for the move to the inside this time here. We're going to give him a Vettel-esque squeeze to the apex into this left hand, and we just hang it around the outside. And we're holding on for dear life here. And I'd argue we're holding on even more than we did at Cota, as Alonso is now out of the Mexican Grand Prix here. But we need to hold on to this position to try and match our objective. And also Massa is now our rival, so we're going to lose points to our rival. But Ocon is actually catching the pair of us here, so he could be on the back of us by the end of the next lap. So there's a lot at stake here in terms of beating my teammate and matching the team's expectation for a finishing position here. Okay, here we go. We've got to defend one more time this lap, and I'm going to dip into the rich mix to defend this position. Ricciardo's really picking up my toe this time, and he's going to go and look for the move. Let's try and drag race him here into turn 1. It's going to be very close. Ricciardo's there. We're going to have to brake as late as we can into the first corner. Ricciardo actually locks up, I think. Yes, he has. He's locked up and run very deep here, and that's going to allow me to have the gap that I need to stay ahead. Vettel wins the race, and we've basically got to save a little bit of fuel now, so I'm going to keep it in lean for these next couple of corners just to get back into positive. But right now, the main overtaking point, Ricciardo's absolutely bottled it, so we've got a chance of bringing this home in 7th place. Right, okay, we've managed to save the fuel we need, so the AI were definitely more OP in the race than what they were in qualifying, and it is true that the AI do seem to be a little bit OP around here. My tyres, as you can see, screaming now to hold on. Engine components, every single one of them yellow except for the energy store, but it doesn't really matter because we've managed to hold on. And here we go through the final corner, and there we go. Ricciardo's pushing us through a lot across the line pretty much, but we're going to bring it home in P7, and that was a very tense, long and hard fought P7 that race. And oh my days, that was a real challenge. And we didn't get the target of P5, which is what I wanted, and also we missed out to our rival Felipe Massa, but I'm not too concerned because that was almost as good as a top 5 / a podium in that race. I really had to fight hard for that, but Wow, what a race, and Vettel wins for the Scuderia, and yeah, he's responding at the wrong time. Literally, the race after Raikkonen won the championship, now Vettel finally wins the race. But other than that, that was Mexico, a very interesting race, and we are saving up the main thing, a lot of resource points, and if we do stay with Force India, there will be a vote very soon, but if we stay with Force India, the sheer amount of resource points that we will have to invest next season is going to be absolutely mental. We will have so many resource points to invest, and we could really make a big stride next season. So the more it progresses, the more I'm almost automatically thinking I might just renew Force India myself without even having to do a vote, because I do feel like we are on the brink of something special with Force India, and we could be about to, make something really, really special happen with the amount of resource points that we're saving up. But we've still got 2 more races left, so 2 more practice sessions, 2 more qualifying sessions, and 2 more race sessions left to stock up on as many resource points. And also, if we get an end of season bonus like last year, which was like 1,800 points, we could be seriously in the money. But as you can see, these are the final race results, and Vettel wins ahead of Raikkonen, and then Lewis Hamilton in P3, Max Verstappen in P4 ahead of Valtteri Bottas there, so good result from the Dutchman, and then Massa in 6th ahead of myself, Ricciardo, and then Ocon in P9, and Magnussen rounds out the top 10 in the point scoring positions. And yeah, those were the final race results, and I do apologise guys if there's no replay cams in this video, as I've just come out from recording them. There's too much lag in these that I don't want to use these because I can't seem to get any more than 40 frames, so they look a bit poor, so I'm not going to probably use the replay cams in this, unfortunately, for this episode. But I do apologise for that. But looking now at the driver's standings, you can see that I am still in P6 ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, who once again we managed to beat. He has finally scored points after like 4 or 5 races without doing so, but I've managed to score more points than him, so could we finish the season ahead of one of the Red Bulls? Because if that is the case, then that would be an absolutely incredible stride forward for us as a team. Also, as you can see, that Ocon holding P9 rather comfortably. Carlos Sainz gaining a few points. He's only 6 points behind Ocon, so Sainz breathing down my teammate's neck. But looking at the constructors, finally, we're holding P4, and that is probably going to be our finishing position. Also, Ferrari looks like they're going to probably wrap up the constructors in the next race. So that is pretty much sealed and delivered. And Ferrari, for the 2nd year in a row, win the Drivers' and Constructors Championship. But we're now going to move into the laptop. Right, so looking at the laptop now, we have 1,830 points saved up, a serious amount of resource points. Hopefully, once the season ends, we should be, fingers crossed, near the 3,000 mark, or around 2,700-ish. And then once we get the end of season bonus on top of that, we should be, hopefully, I'm targeting to be on at least over 4,000 resource points. And that is going to really help us because we can really make some big upgrades for next season. Especially, I want to make this era upgrade, which will take 4 weeks to develop. And we can make this one here, which will take 4 weeks to develop as well. So I might even get one of them very soon. Maybe, after Brazil. We'll have to wait and see. But big upgrades on the horizon. And it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this develops here. But also in the chassis department, that's going to be where we're going to focus next season pretty much. I've got the opportunity to do this upgrade and this one here to sort of max out this part of the aero. So I sort of want to do those two just so that we can say we've done the aero on that side of things, because that's going to mean a massive boost. And if we bring these 2 upgrades, we're going to be neck and neck with Mercedes in the aero department, which is going to be pretty mental, to be honest. And then we can then entirely focus on the chassis and a little bit of engine performance next season. But other than that, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. If you have, then smash the like button. Also, let me know down below if you enjoyed the video, what you think I could do differently, and just little things in the comments down below. Any questions, just sound off down there in the comments. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Check out these videos on screen if you haven't done so already, and also check out GT Omega, links down below in the description. Use the code TOM97 for a 5% discount at checkout. But other than that, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.